call this meeting to order at 12:02. I'm going to do my best to take some notes, but if anyone else can jot a few things down when I send the draft out, you can add bits and pieces in too. So I'm going to admit Anna. Hello, Anna. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. So glad you could make it. I just called the meeting to order, and Missy has to leave at 12:30. So we thought we would just dive right in because I bet you're busy too.
Oh, yes.
So good. Okay. So we've got 3 agenda items, and why don't we start with what I think is going to be the easiest, and that is our student applicant. I am going to, I can pull it up. Hold on. I can share, and then I got to figure out which window is here.
Are we like live streaming? Because if we are, we might not want to put up the application if it has personal information.
That's a good question. Okay, Matt, are we live streaming? Okay, then we don't want to do that. Jen, thank you for thinking of that important detail. Okay, so I will just look at the application myself here. And if you need to pull it up, I hope everyone received it.
Yes.
Right. Can we pull it up ourselves?
Yes, pull it up yourself. We're just not going to live stream it. So Rick Rauchi, a member of the SAC, suggested Tommy Melillo as a student representative, and he also received a really nice letter of reference from Eric Paradis, a special education administrator in Milford, supporting Tommy's application. And I have emailed Rick back and forth. It's interesting. I noticed, and you may have noticed too, that Tommy did not appear to check the box that said, "Are you an individual with a disability?" I did email Rick about that. I said, I'm assuming that he is. I didn't hear back otherwise. And of course, Eric's letter.
He checked student. He put child or youth. So there's 2 questions on there.
Oh, great. Thank you. All right, great. Thank you. I only read the parent portion. Thanks, Jen.
Because I thought that at first too. But then I saw that it says that.
Part. Thank you. All right, so good. We are set there. And then I thought that Tommy really submitted a nice statement about himself. And, and I also like the fact that he talked about so many of the things that he's doing, but he also touched on something that we have been talking about at the SAC quite a bit recently, which is student involvement and student-led IEP meetings. So it sounds like he would really have a lot to contribute in that area, and probably in many other areas as well. So, and also he's a male. We have a female student representative. So there is some diversity there. He comes from, I believe, a much larger school district than our other student representative. So again, there is a different perspective that will also come with him. So these are just some of the things that I took away from his application, but I'm really interested in hearing what others have to say. And Brian, I want to welcome you. I had Tommy's application up and I was referencing it when I was just speaking, so I didn't see you. Or Jolie, welcome Jolie, join us as well.
Hi, good afternoon.
Nice to have you here.
I'm
Nice
just
to be
looking
here.
for it, and I cannot find the application. I only have the letter, the blank.
It should have been at the beginning of the same thread, I believe.
At the beginning of the same thread?
Yeah, I think, Jolie, did you send it or was it Catherine?
I sent it and I'm just looking to see if I can pull it up.
Yeah, it should be at the very top of the thread.
Okay, so I'm looking for Rick's.
Okay.
I saw that he was also the president of his junior class.
Yeah.
And he's also involved in the CERC, whatever they call it, the youth advisory group as well. So, yeah, I overall thought he was a great candidate, and he already has a lot of leadership experience.
I also feel like he has a strong student voice because he feels very comfortable taking charge in PPTs.
Yes.
And that's a huge priority for us.
Yeah.
Can I make a motion that we bring him to the full council for a vote?
I'll second that. Missy here.
Thank you,
Okay.
Miss.
Okay, great. All in favor? Any opposed? No? All right, fantastic. Check that off. I'm excited about this. Okay.
Catherine, just quick, and
Yeah.
tell me if I missed this. I sent out to a SEPTO the letter, a version of the letter you wrote for when we were looking
Yeah.
for students, but I
Yeah.
didn't put, was information in that, and I'm sorry if it slipped my brain, on how to apply the actual application.
You know what, Susan? That's kind of critical, isn't it? Yes. So a link should be included with that. I'm going to make a note of that.
Okay, good, because I completely thought I missed it. So,
Link to
application.
membership application.
And
Yeah,
if you
that's-
send that out, I will forward that.
Okay. Student recruitment letter. Gotcha. Okay, good. Yeah, why don't we just segue into the student recruitment letter, since we've had the most discussion on that. And I think it's okay to share my screen with that. Just find it. No, that's not it. Hold on. Sorry, everyone.
That's the updated one that Brian sent. If you click on the attachment.
Yeah.
Sharing my screen again. Wait, am I sharing? No, it's paused. Okay, go back into the window. Okay, sorry. I hate this when they do these upgrades, and I am. There. Sorry, guys, it is not popping up.
Catherine, do you want to see if it would let me share?
Yeah, do you want it, because it's not popping up for me? Thanks, Allison. Wait, actually, I think I've got it here now. Do you guys see it?
Not yet.
All right, well, Allison, yours
There you go.
popped up first. Okay, great.
Okay, is this the version we wanted? This was the one
Yeah.
with the most recent updates. Okay.
Yeah, thanks, Allison. Okay, good.
Mhm.
So, a long time ago, Jen and Allison and I had started a draft. Then I've sort of sent out versions since then to interested students. Susan wanted something recently that you sent out, and I worked on it again, and Susan added a little more to it. And so now I think it's just time that we're all just finally putting something together. And Brian, I appreciate you jumping in and adding a little more as well. So, so this is a version of what you sent out recently, Susan, to who was it you sent out to? Was it an administrator in your district?
Yeah, to Madison, and then to the head of the SEPTO. I think it's a SEPTO in Guilford. Yeah,
that's right. So we were thinking that if we just had a template that we could have where that the SAC members could share with their stakeholder groups and other individuals who can help recruit students, that it would be good to have a standard recruitment document.
Catherine, I just noticed at the beginning it just says a student with disability. We should really specify that it's for students on an IEP.
Okay.
Because under IDA,
True.
that's what we're supposed to be covering,
True.
not 504.
Okay, thank you.
How many student representatives are we looking for?
We have 4 slots, right, for
Four
a
slots.
total. So now if
Yes, we
this other
do.
student gets confirmed, we'll have 2 spots left.
2 spots left, okay.
Okay. Yeah. So it would be great if we had more than 2 qualified students apply, but you know,
Can we maybe not just say high school, because I don't want anybody to think like the students that are in the 18 to 22
Yeah.
age range are not included.
yeah,
So maybe just say one of your students or high
Students.
school and transition students.
one of your, yep.
What are your thoughts about giving schools a deadline for just this? Because I would hate for a student to not, or a parent to not see a deadline, put it off, and then not get the opportunity because we will have already filled all our positions. Is there any chance or no? It's up to you guys.
I feel like we would keep them on file if there weren't any spots open,
Yeah.
just because we know how tricky it can be with students and things can come
Yeah.
up and someone might have to leave. And with our other members' applications, we keep it like a rolling thing as well.
Yeah. It's true.
Those
And
are just my
someti-
thoughts.
Yeah, and sometimes it takes a long time for a student to submit an application, and sometimes during that whole process, they decide that, their situation has changed and they're not ready to submit one at this time. Because I know that Rick was working with this student. Wow. He approached me months ago about this student, several months ago. And then we have another council member who thought he had a student who was interested. And he and I were working on recruiting that student for about a year. And then after almost a year had gone by, the student decided that his circumstances had changed and he was no longer able to devote the time. So that's why I'm kind of hesitant to put a deadline, because we can keep them on file, and sometimes I'm finding students just need a bit more time to think about joining the SAC than adults. They're busy, and I find they're really good at recognizing their limits, which is a good quality. They know if they can or cannot extend themselves. So yeah. Okay.
Just some logistical things here. I would spell out in that second paragraph where we end with Connecticut, I would spell out Connecticut instead of just putting CT.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe a more generic greeting than good afternoon.
Okay.
Too. Sorry.
All right. What would you guys like? Hello or greetings?
Yeah, something that would make sense no
Greetings.
matter what time of day.
Greetings, okay. All right.
Greetings, yeah.
Okay.
So I kind of struggled with this in 2 capacities.
Mhm.
I started looking at this and doing the my thoughts obviously into it, and then I switched it into student focus.
Mm-hmm.
And I caught myself because this was more directed towards your teacher, right? Or our school contact looking at the student. And then by the end of the thing, I had changed it over to more of the student, this being directed to the student. So I guess my question is this, should we be directing this to the student, since that's whom we're looking for, the applicant, and the facilitator of the conversation being the administrator or teacher or whomever? So to which then this would need to be kind of overhauled of us as a council, reaching out to the student themselves into a his and her kind of conversation or language. So I flipped my revisions just to kind of keep it consistent with it being going to the teacher administrator, but I don't know the group's thoughts on whether or not this should be just kind of some of that language, just changing it over to that student approach and asking the administrator or teacher to be the facilitator of the conversation, but the letter being directed towards the student. If that makes sense.
Do we want to have like this recruitment letter and then maybe have something that they can hand out to the student in more like plain language, and like more accessible language, or maybe talking points for them to talk about with the student, or something to share with families? I'm creating more work for us as I talk.
You know, I will say that when I have emailed prospective student members, I have definitely used a different tone. I've tried to make it friendlier. I've incorporated the points that Jake recommended and put in his document last year. And the email is definitely shorter than this document right now. So Jen, to your point, I think that it could be really useful and helpful to have a secondary flyer that really just encompasses all of that. And then we all have it at the ready, whether we're just going to send out the flyer or we want to take that, incorporate that into an email that we send out to a student who we are just trying to recruit ourselves. Do we want to start with this flyer, finalize this, and then as a second project, just do a very, very student-focused flyer? What do all of you think?
I think that's a great idea.
Okay.
I do too. This is very wordy for a student.
Yeah, I agree. So, yeah, because when I
Just have
emailed
to-
this, sorry, go on.
No, if the focus is for an educator or something to read it, that last paragraph, it says, if you would like to attend a council meeting, is that for the educator or is that for the student? So I was getting a little confused when I was going through it because I didn't know if this was meant for the student or the educator.
So we should change to say, if you know a student who would like to attend a council meeting.
Right.
Okay, I'll change that.
But to go off of Missy's question, that doesn't prohibit a teacher with a potential student candidate to both attend,
Right.
teacher supporting the student, or the teacher themselves that kind of understand, come to a council to potentially see if the student they have in mind, this might be an option for them. So maybe it's one of those, if you or
I like that. Okay, I'll put that in there. Right.
I also feel that now that we have all of these videos on YouTube and on the website, they don't necessarily have to go, leave school for that time, miss class, and attend a meeting. So we could maybe put that in there. I mean, that's just adding stuff. And I know these are only Brian's edits in red, but I really like the different little colors as we go along for reading.
I put my changes in blue, which I'm going to send out to all of you, so you know that this is like what we did as a group. So okay, so the next thing is you're looking at
You just don't want to have red in an official letter because ADA red is not a good.
No,
a good color.
it'll all be black, but just so we know.
But you could bold some words and stuff to make things stand out a little bit. If there's a focus area or something, you could just put it in bold print.
Catherine, where it says you may attend meetings in person or via phone video, maybe change it to members may attend meetings.
Yeah.
All right, what was it again, Jen? Can you repeat it?
Where
Yeah.
it says you may attend meetings in
Yeah.
person
Yeah,
or via phone or video.
yeah,
Changing
May-
it to members may
yeah,
or students.
yeah.
I just tried to scroll the letter, even though it's on your screen.
Well, just to follow up with what you were saying before, because the next line says, in addition, transcripts and recordings of the meetings may also be requested. I mean, do you need to request the recording of this now, or is it up on the website so that they can just, maybe we put the link to where they're housed?
Okay.
Jolie, are you on? Because you're the one who puts them, they're on the
Yeah.
website.
I'm sorry, can you ask me the question again?
Missy?
One of the lines in here says that you need to, if you're not at the meeting, you can request transcripts and recordings of the SAC meeting. Are they not being recorded and put up on the website now? So we just should put in the link of where the recordings are?
Yep, we have them now on, we're not really doing any, well, if we do a Zoom, we're not doing it on the YouTube, but we are putting the links online.
So we could then
On
change,
the, we have the link on the meetings and the minutes and agendas page.
okay, so I could include a link that says, in addition, transcripts and recordings of the meetings may be accessed via this link.
If it's a virtual meeting, because an in-person meeting we won't have on there.
Oh,
Catherine,
yeah.
also, I just thought of this because I'm going to reach out to the deaf and hard of hearing community. Should we have something on there that says if you need accommodations, if you're coming to this meeting?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we
So-
wanted to.
Thinking about that now.
And yes, and I was, because our last meeting that we had at the legislative office building, I'm assuming when it was put up on YouTube, there were captions put on, because that's pretty important.
Wouldn't that go more in the student letter as opposed to the educator letter?
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right, Missy. You're right.
Okay, so make a note, include closed captioning option in student letter.
But it's not only the it's closed captioning, but also any other, what if this individual needs some supports
Yeah.
of an adult supports or
Mhm.
whatever, what if
Right.
it's whatever accommodation it may be, are we going with a reasonable accommodation or is anybody welcomed?
I mean, I think any reasonable accommodation
Right.
can be accommodated.
On our end, we will definitely try to meet accommodations.
But I just want to get some clarification on the transcripts and the recordings of the meeting. Thanks, Missy. Thank you so much.
Okay, I'll see you guys later.
Okay, bye-bye. So in addition to transcripts and recordings of the meetings, you may also, recordings of the meetings may also be requested in case you cannot attend. So are we saying then, Jolie, that transcripts and recordings of the virtual meetings may also be requested? Those are the only ones?
Because we have minutes for the in-person, but we wouldn't have a video.
Okay.
So we have minutes for all meetings. We don't have a we don't have a recording for an in-person. Everything else we will have
Okay.
a recording for.
Okay. And
Right, I mean,
there,
when we're at the LOB though, it is recorded,
We're
yeah,
only at
but
the
anywhere
LOB.
else it is not, right?
We're only at the LOB once.
Right, so the other ones are not recorded.
Yeah, yeah, no.
and do we have a link to the recordings then? Is that on the SAC website?
Yeah, those are on our agenda. When I post the agenda, I get the link there, and they can actually watch us live as we're having our meetings. We
Right.
can check after. We can check.
Right.
We can like go on after and see how many people streamed. We just click the link on the top of this agenda.
Okay, so what I'll do is then I'll just include a link there, then that says the link to these recordings is bloop. And if someone
Yep.
wants to click on it, they can do that. And
Yep.
then we don't need to have a sentence below that says you can access the recordings. Okay, all right.
Yep.
Right. But
Bill,
this
something?
meeting, but like this meeting, there's no transcript for people to read that are deaf or hard of hearing.
That's.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you access the YouTube link, there is a transcript available. But if the meeting just took place over Teams, someone would have to request a copy of the transcript, and there's no recording. Is that correct? Okay. Right. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay, great. Okay. So I'll include a link to the recordings then. Because then it sounds like everything is available through YouTube. So correct? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
And it's all on the meetings and agendas page. Right under the meeting and agenda, he'll post it. He posts the link to. Yep, you don't even have to open the agenda. He actually, Matt will post it outside of the agenda too.
Okay. Okay, so I'll get that and I'll insert that as well. Okay. Oh wait, Matt, you just shared.
Thank you, Matt.
Okay, great. Super. Okay. Great. Anything else with this document? No? Okay, so what I'll Okay. Great, thanks. Okay. Anything else stand out at the moment? No? All right, I'm going to send that to all of you. And if you can take a look at it again and let me know if it looks good to you, or if you want to suggest some additional changes, that would be great. And again, I consider this to be a work in progress. So even if we decide that what we have works for now and serves our needs, you know, I hope that we will always revisit this document and come back to it if we find we need to tweak it or revise it in any way. But this is huge. I'm so glad that we're getting this done. Thanks, everyone. Wow. I don't know. Allison and Jen, how long ago did we start talking about this? I think it was pre-COVID. So we are dating ourselves. But, you know, we're getting it done. Yay. Okay. All right. So are we ready to move on to the legislative recruitment letter? Okay. And I've got that right here. Hold on. Let me see if this is going to let me share this now because it wouldn't before. Oops. Okay. Can you see this?
We were nodding in case you couldn't see, Catherine. Is she frozen?
I think she might be.
Oh no.
Yeah, she's frozen.
Sometimes when you share, I feel like it affects your quality.
Yeah.
So Catherine's not there.
But we see her screen though.
Yeah, but they're kind of frozen too because their cursor's not blinking.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yep. Oh,
Oomph.
whoops. No more.
Oh, we lost Catherine in general, huh? She'll be back. Right.
And I apologize for you watching my profile here, but what we're sharing, I can't read on a small screen, so I put it over here, but I don't have a camera on this thing.
And
There
look
she
who's
is.
back.
You know those moments when like it's awkward because like your cat or your dog decides to make an appearance on your team's meeting? I don't have a cat or dog, but I've got a virtual pet and my internet likes to conk out at the worst possible moment. Yeah, my virtual cat was getting surly. All right, let me share it. I'm like, hi, can you guys see it? And there was nothing. And then I'm like, yeah, it's down. All right, let me share again. Holy smokes. Hold on, let me just make sure I got my document here. Okay, hold on. All right, I am gonna share. Okay, can you see it?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, good. We're all here. Super. Okay, so, you know, what I did was I basically took what was in our bylaws and put it down. I also looked at, I think it's the Youth Advisory Council recruitment flyer and sort of based this flyer on that too. And it's a little snoozy. It's a little wordy. And, you know, Susan, I like the email you sent me. You're like, it's got to be catchy. And all I could think about was when my kids were in high school and they were members of the AFS club and these very bold recruitment flyers they had around their high school. And it just like big bold letters. It said, do you like turtles? Which has nothing to do with the American Foreign Service Club, then come join our club. And so it really resonated with me. So I don't know if we need to say, do you like turtles? But if there's a way to like really be eye-catching and motivating and inspiring, for someone to join the SAC, that would be great. So I don't know if any of you have any thoughts or ideas on this one.
Looking for votes.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's Monday morning. Might not
No,
want
that's
those. We might not want those folks at the table if they're looking for votes. So, but anyways,
That's right.
sorry.
Yeah. Oh, my computer
Brian.
went black, totally black for a minute, and I thought, oh my God, like
Oh, no.
but I'm back now. Okay, good.
So I sent Catherine a quick email saying it needed to be like you're selling a car. And I was just like, put at the top, do you care about the future of special education in Connecticut?
Yeah.
Then become a legislative member of the SAC. Our meetings are one-stop shopping for special education from DOJ to DDS to CPAC. And guys, I have to take a quick call. I'm
Yep.
sorry.
Go right ahead. Okay. So yeah, so Susan had shared that peppy language. I can certainly add that in. Unless anyone has any other ideas.
What about something with statistics? Like, did you know there are over however many students, special education students in Connecticut, or something like that? And then, do you want to make a difference? Blah, 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 something.
You know, Brian was kind of sort of joking, but I mean, he is right though. Somehow, if we can be very diplomatic about it.
Yeah.
And kind of that goes with Jen. Yeah. Did you know how many students?
And maybe
And
the
we'll make a
unemployment
difference.
rate of adults with disabilities or something like that, and say that they can do something to improve those numbers.
And maybe it's the comparison on the unemployment number, like how high the rates still are for students and adults of disabilities versus other populations.
And then I wonder how many registered voters there are with disabilities and their parents.
That's right.
Yeah. I mean, you know, why not? Okay. And I mean, I wish there was a way, to, I mean, you know, state what you stated, Brian, about do you like people, you know, getting votes?
I think there's a combination of ways with the statistics and then what Susan brought up without being blunt in my way.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a hot topic per se, and I hate to say that, but there's other things that seem to get the news and the limelight that draws the attention of those who really enjoy that camera time, shall we say, and news time. Whereas this is not, it is a very important subject matter, obviously, but it just doesn't draw that.
Right.
And sadly enough, there might be legislators who are involved, but for personal reasons or other constituent poll reasons, they're doing other committee work.
Right.
So, you know, our prior folks that have come to some of our meetings, but not all, have been vested to the extent that they can be vested in. But we need a stronger voice. We need somebody that really wants to take this on and maybe act as almost in a leadership way with their colleagues in the LOB to get more involvement, more interest in the work that this council does, but most importantly, the youth who are in special education services throughout Connecticut and their families ultimately, and educators, because they're all tied.
Yeah. All right, so how can we put that super succinctly here and get someone super psyched and want to join up with us?
I'll meet Tom Kosker Day.
That's right. That's
I don't know. It's could
Because
just do it, you know. I don't know. It's
Yeah, I know, because everything else here is just, I tried to pick the points from the bylaws that I thought would resonate with them as the most. And our purpose, who we are, when and where we meet. I mean, I want to keep this to one page. Susan had also suggested just including a link to some of the meetings and maybe even a QR code. So if we hand them a flyer, they can just scan it with their phones and immediately check us out.
Catherine, I don't think I have this, so would you be able to share it with all of us again?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm sorry you didn't get that. Wow. Okay, you're supposed to get both of them. Yeah.
I didn't get the other one either until Brian sent it, so I wasn't sure.
Really?
I could have just missed it, but I totally didn't see that until he sent his.
Yeah. No, I'm going to do that. Did everyone else get it?
I received the student version. I don't believe I received this version.
Wow. Okay, so that's not good.
I want to say that I've seen this, but maybe it was during the meeting.
No, I put this together after.
I want to say that I've seen it. It's so familiar. I can't believe I dreamt it.
Well, because it's sort of based on a flyer from a different group. So, maybe they
that's
do
why.
blend together,
no, Catherine, it was in your email from Monday the 5th with
See,
the
that's
student,
okay. I'm not
with the
crazy.
bylaws, the student
Okay.
recruitment letter and legislator recruitment
Okay.
flyer.
All right. Well, I hope I included everyone on that email. My apologies if I did not.
Jolie, me, Lewis, Tallard. Oh, I'm not going to pronounce that last name, but this morning. Jen was on there, Missy, Allison, Anna, and
Yeah.
Susan.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Well, all right. I'm glad you guys got
So
it. But
your
I get it.
systems might just not have recognized the
Yeah.
attachments or something funky.
Yeah, exactly. So, okay. I mean, do you all feel like you need to give this one a little more thought? It's just, it would be nice to have something ready in time for January when we are, working on organizing a breakfast at the LOB. So we want to have something that we can hand to people.
I think we should just get something to hand to people, and I would love to be able to sorry guys, I had to step away. I would love to be able to just cut out a couple of lines from this for an elevator speech.
Yep.
And I have Grammarly on my
Okay.
computer, and there's a couple of changes that it's suggesting. I don't know if you have Grammarly.
No, but that's a good thing to add.
There's a free version.
Even better.
Even better, but it's just suggesting some different words and some contractions and stuff.
That's great, because
It's an
again,
awesome tool.
That's good, because again, I kind of cranked this out. I just felt it was like eating at me, and I just wanted to get something started and get it out to all of you. So Susan, I'm glad that, you're also suggesting Grammarly.
Yeah, no, and it's just because my son put it on for his stuff on the computer, but it's super helpful. But no, you did a beautiful job. You did a great job. It's very organized.
But again, we can certainly whittle this down and make changes. Yeah. I mean, is there anything that comes to mind right now that you would want to cut out or delete, Susan? Or change? Nope.
No, it looks great. I love how you're going to try to incorporate important.
Yeah. And I'm going to insert your suggestions. This is, I don't know if you saw it, currently as it is, it's going beyond a page. And when we add, and this has got to be kept to one page. Mm-hmm. So what I'll do is I will input things. I will see if I can get all these statistics. If any of you have access to those numbers as well, you can put them in there.
Yeah.
And then let's just see what we can do to edit this down to one page, because Susan, I know you had also suggested maybe even including a QR code. So if we do that, we really need to make this more succinct so we can get all of it in.
We could put less information if you do a QR code.
Yeah.
And I just think legislators really need information given to them concisely and quickly. Yeah. And if they knew that this group was basically where they could go and discuss and hear from every pretty much agency, parents, advocacy groups, it's all in one place.
Yeah.
I don't know what anybody else might think about that.
No, I agree with that. Kind of like a one-stop shop. They can make connections with many different agencies and groups in one place.
Okay, so I'll make a few changes. I'll send it out to all of you. And then if you want to edit it in any way, please do, because I think that you all have really good ideas. You've said some really good things here today. And we just want to make this as appealing as possible to a legislator so we can get just one. All we need is at least one who wants to come and make a difference. So we've got 5 vacancies, but we'll start with filling one. Okay. All right, so I can
and again, if we can get one to the table, they might be the role model or mentor for a colleague or colleagues. Once we get one with the hook in their jaw, then we can get a couple other ones. I'm not worried about that.
Right, exactly. Okay. All right, I'll stop screen sharing now. And I'll get the, oh, sorry,
was it somebody in our meeting up at the LOB who brought up the idea of, maybe it was Tom, bringing up the idea of talking to your local person themselves to try to get them to maybe consider coming onto SAC or such. Yeah. And if we got to pound the pavement in that direction, then maybe systematically we can do that. I know not everybody who's on the SAC is potentially, from an employment standpoint, are members, but maybe not residents of Connecticut too. Yeah. So we got to be mindful of that. But
right. Okay. Yep. Good idea. Okay. Okay. Anything else? Committee? No? All right. We got a lot done, and it looks like we are going to be able to finish early. So I'm going to tweak the second document now and then send that out with the student letter. So you all have it. And any more comments on the student letter, let me know. And certainly please contribute your ideas to the legislative recruitment flyer. So this will be great to get 2 big projects done. Okay. All right. Anything else? No? Well, thanks everyone. And I will be in touch very shortly. Okay. All right. And if I don't talk to you before, have a happy holiday.
Yes.
You as well.
You too.
Happy holidays.
Thank you. Thank you for all your hard work.
Bye,
really
everyone.
appreciate
Thanks all of you. Okay.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.